I love that in your bio, that you said that frustrated you, that between the medications and the low-fat, low-calorie diets wasn't the answer. So with that said, how did you go from there in the, obviously you had medical training and, and that's your background to where you are now with, believing what we believe?
What happened, of course, was that the Atkins diet was very popular somewhere around the 2000s. So a lot of studies got launched just around that time, and they all got published somewhere around 2006 to 2008. And they started appearing in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is really the top medical journal in the world. And what was really fascinating was that these diets were doing much better than our conventional, recommended diets, right? So the people who did these studies, a lot of them did them with the expectation that these Atkins dieters would do a lot worse, and here they were doing much better, not just in terms of weight loss, but in terms of their entire metabolic profile. As I started to look deeper and deeper into this sort of thing, you realize that a lot of these kind of hand-me-down nutritional beliefs, they're really just not true. I mean, even from the very, very basics of what we know, like calories in, calories out, which is something that we're taught kind of from kindergarten almost, right? It's all about calorie balance and all this kind of stuff. It's just all wrong, which is fascinating.
Absolutely.
And the real problem is that our understanding of what causes obesity right now is too many calories, right? It's all this calorie balance, this calorie paradigm. And it's crazy because it's, the calorie understanding has only been around for 50 or 60 or 70 years, right? 200 years ago, people didn't have bomb calorimeters. Nobody measured the calorie value of foods, and nobody had obesity, right? And it's not like people were, you look at 1930, 1940 America, people are not starving of hunger, right? Not that there was no food. There was plenty of food. There was just no obesity.
Because I always like to say this, because if people cut calories, there's that beginning phase where they actually lose a little weight, right? But what happens? The complicated hormonal metabolism starts to drop as well. And then the weight starts to come back on. Or when you cut calories, you just can't do that. You can't just push food away. And I always talk about this on other shows. Eventually, you start to eat again. Right? It's like, so two ways it fails. Either your body says, no, okay, we can't just, cut calories, we're going to eat again, but ultimately your metabolism goes lower and lower. So ultimately you never lose weight. You really never lose any weight long term, but people hold on to that short little blip when they see themselves cut calories and they see their weight drop slightly, probably water, some fat, some muscle, probably mostly muscle. But the point is they see the scale go down, so they think it works, Doc.
Yeah. Absolutely. And every single diet study has shown this same thing. You see the very bottom at around 6 months, sometimes 9 months, and then it always goes up. And every dieter knows this, of course, right? At 6 months, what happens is that you start to plateau, right? And then so you double up your efforts, right? Cut calories even more, right? And for a while it works, but then again, you plateau. And then you start feeling like crap, right? You're feeling cold and you're feeling hungry, and you think it's all your fault, right? But the problem is exactly what you've said. And the studies are very clear on this. So when you cut your calories, your metabolism goes down. So you start with 2,000 calories in and 2,000 out. You cut it to 1,500. You lose a bit of weight, great. But then your body just reduces it to 1,500 calories, right? Exactly. But now, because you're only burning 1,500 calories, you're cold, your metabolism's slowing down, right? And then the other thing that they've shown is that your hunger hormones go up, your satiety hormones go down. So you're actually hungrier, not because you have no willpower, but you're actually hungrier because your hormones are telling you to gain that weight back. So you're hungrier and your metabolism has slowed down. So that's kind of a double whammy that you'll never get out of, right? So what happens, of course, is that you're at 1,500 calories in, 1,500 out. You're feeling like crap. You feel it's not worth it, right? So then you go up to 1,700, still less than you used to take. And the weight starts coming back, right? And then it goes right back up, and now your metabolism's at 1,700, you feel like crap, your weight goes back to what it was, and then everybody blames you for failing the diet, right? And that's the super unfair part about weight loss, is that all these dieters get blamed when we know exactly what's happening. We know that it will happen for sure. And the weight loss, like the studies of weight loss, show that like 98% of people fail. So one, why would we ever give advice that has a 98% failure rate? And two, it's so unfair that when people fail, they get the blame instead of the advice getting the blame, right? Nobody ever says, it's because your stupid eat less, move more advice was really bad. We knew it was bad and we knew you'd fail,
Yeah.
right? Nobody ever says that. People say, oh, you fell off your diet. Well, you know, it's bound to happen, right? And that's the real problem.